and he pleaded not guilty. Before former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson was accused of shooting Sonya Massey after she called police the police after she called police to investigate a prowler. He had a rocky 1 year tenure with the Logan County Sheriff's Department. Personnel records show that Grayson's time there was fraught, though he was not fired by the department. Grayson's file from Logan County shows he continued a high speed pursuit of a traffic offender even after his supervisor ordered him to terminate it. A woman filed a complaint claiming Grayson tried to watch as she was strip
Strip
searched.
search.
And her fiance, who was in Logan County Jail, claimed Grayson questioned him in front of other inmates as retaliation for his girlfriend's complaint. We're going to get into the retaliation thing because Grayson's fiance, and I'm going to say allegedly, was Sonya Massey's nurse. And so allegedly, Grayson went because he has a history of having retaliation and went to her house. Of course, he knew who Sonya Massey was. His fiance was her nurse. You heard me the right way. The Logan County Deputy Chief Deputy Nathan Miller wrote in a November 2022 report that Grayson needed extensive training after failing to listen to his superiors. So this
Stop.
man has a problem with authority.
Stop.
Yeah, you heard
Let's
me.
rewind
Yes,
just a
and
little
I do
bit.
have proof about it. I don't know these people, but this is all what he's trying
Please
to allude
pull
to.
that up.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Huh?
I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, because we can't just graze past that. Okay, we can't because we're told that there was a prowler in there.
Right, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Prowler." Then you showed up as a response to the Prowler call, and there is no correlation between the two. His fiance knew the girl, allegedly. Allegedly, the girl meaning Miss Massey. A lot out here about this. Let me finish reading while you go through your shock. Extensive training. He didn't listen to his superiors. He wrote Grayson needed field training along with additional traffic stop training, report writing training, high stress decision making process classes, and needs to read, discuss, and understand issued Logan County Sheriff's Department policies. That was his previous supervisor. 7 months on, he said, and this is the written report because it was actually in the newscast. 7 months on, he said, "How are you still employed by us?" Miller asked Grayson during a recorded meeting to discuss Grayson's actions. Grayson replied, "I don't know." Grayson continued to serve with Logan County Sheriff's Department for 5 more months. Miller told Grayson that these were violations that could lead to his firing. Grayson was still in his probationary period and could be fired at will. The records don't reflect Grayson was disciplined for the incidents, but more training was recommended. Miller did not return a call seeking comment. Of course not. The open internal investigations were closed when Grayson resigned in 2023 April, having not faced any discipline. He started his job at the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department in May 2023, where he just got fired from allegedly. Miller wrote the report nearly 2 years before Grayson shot Massey in the kitchen of her home after she called 911 to report a prowler in the early morning hours of July 6th. The deputies cleared the outside of the house near Springfield without finding anyone, but went inside to question Massey and finding damage to a vehicle parked outside of her home. The encounter turned violent when officers noticed a pot heating liquid on the stove and allowed her to remove it. As the unidentified officer who answered the call with Grayson moved away, Massey, who was black, said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Grayson, who is white, this is the New York Post, y'all, then threatened to shoot Massey in the face. Moments later, after he threatened her, he pulled his 9mm service weapon and fired 3 times, striking Massey once in the face. On the body camera video, Grayson dissuaded his fellow officer from issuing aid to Massey because the wound was fatal. As Massey lay on the kitchen floor, Grayson told the other officer he feared Massey was going to throw the liquid on them, and she gave him no choice but to fire. Grayson was fired from Sangamon County and charged with first degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He has not pleaded guilty.
Well, of course not, because that's not first degree murder. You got to prove that he had intent to kill this woman.
Right? It says he has not pleaded guilty. Right.
Yeah.
After Massey's death, questions arose about Grayson's qualifications. Too little, too late. Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board records show he worked for 6 law enforcement agencies around Central Illinois in 4 years, despite 2 convictions for driving under the influence, a 2-year revocation of his driving privileges, and a general discharge from the military. Grayson had been at the Logan County Sheriff's Department for just over 4 months in 2022 when he continued to pursue after his superiors ordered him to terminate. He was on probation and working the midnight shift when he attempted to stop a truck that failed to signal a turn. Could you imagine getting stopped by this man in the middle of the night? But the driver kept going. Miller noted Grayson pursued the truck through Lincoln at high speeds and without due caution, going through intersections. Miller noted Grayson's squad car was traveling faster than 60 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. In squad car video obtained by Capital News Illinois, Grayson's supervisor on duty asked if he was chasing the truck on a traffic violation, and Grayson said he is. The supervisor tells Grayson to terminate the pursuit. Instead of slowing down, Grayson turned off his emergency lights and siren and continued at speeds more than 100 miles per hour to keep the truck in sight, quote, he wrote in his report. The pursuit ended when a deer collided with Grayson's vehicle, rendering inoperable.
A deer collided. A deer. So the deer is what's
because he wouldn't have stopped. So, things happen for a reason in that case, then, but he probably wouldn't have
he
stopped.
ran into a deer.
During a recorded meeting
Wow.
to discuss Grayson's deficiencies in November 23, Miller met with Grayson and tried to impress on him the importance of following a chain of command, writing accurate reports, and wearing a uniform while on duty.
Stop.
Yeah. Why was he still working?
Wearing a uniform while on duty.
So what was he doing?
Not wearing a uniform.
Right. You can't tell me that this guy, come on. Right. Exactly.
What?
Exactly, KE. Exactly. While on duty. At one point, Miller pointed out discrepancies to Grayson's report of the high-speed chase. He asked Grayson if Grayson was lying because he could not see what he purported to see in the report. That Miller said is official misconduct. At the time, Grayson was on light duty.
Just joined on Patreon. Do I have a Patreon still?
I think
well, thank you. I appreciate it. I forgot I even had one.
I don't want to give these details of his brother, but he has a brother that passed away.
Mm-hmm.
A month after the meeting between Grayson and Miller, who Miller was his previous boss, the sheriff's department received a complaint, full of complaints for this guy, that Grayson had tried to watch as a female detainee was strip searched. I mean, what? And like, it was so much there to terminate this guy way before he got this job. When contraband was discovered, the woman was sent to a local hospital to have it removed. In a written complaint, she contended he opened the curtain while she was having a pelvic exam to remove the drugs. Oh my goodness.